dear viewers, and welcome to our English news edition. Here are our major stories. The head of state inaugurated this morning the Gadile Palm Village and lays the foundation stone for Gadile Resort Hotel. On the international news, no agreement between Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump in Hanoi. Thank you for joining us in our newsroom. The head of state presided this morning the inauguration ceremony of Gadile Palm Village project. Real estate developer Burhan Gadile is preparing to launch his hotel project called Gadile Resort Hotel, whose laying of the first stone is placed under the high patronage of the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Margele. With a sense of business, Burhan Mohammed Gadile had taken the gamble to invest in real estate while contributing to the development of its native region that is so dear to his heart through this vast project that is the largest private investment ever made in the interior region. The first phase of the Gadile Palm Village real estate program is made up of 30 or so opulent villas overlooking a superb 800-meter high corniche by the sea and enjoying breathtaking views of the Gulf of Tujora. Through successive stories, the villas have all without exception found their happy buyers, and today the enthusiasm around this project is such that realism and splendor have managed to silence the most skeptical, who are now among his fervent supporters. Since the first peak to date, it is its company named Sokobi who holds the palm of first employer of the White City, a title that will not be dethroned anytime soon, to the delight of the workers of Tujora. Bathed in the barakah of blessings, the businessman tirelessly pursues the execution of his daring real estate plan with the construction this time of a 3-star hotel of 50 rooms, a marina, and an area of marine games. And these real estate projects will be completed later by the construction of 600 apartments, a mosque, and a shopping center that's completing Gadile Palm Village project in Tujora. In this company, Mr. Burhan enjoys the support of joys from the head of state, who granted him full confidence, a confidence that was renewed when the head of state entrusted to him the realization of low-rent housing on the heights of Tujora. This trust is justified in the Gadile Palm Village project concentrates in its own right the main lines of presidential policy, particularly the promotion of private investment, the fight against unemployment, housing policy, and the development of tourism, as well as the process of decentralization. The spokesman of the Sultan of Tujara addressed in his speech to the President of the Republic, he stated that the call to not remain on the sidelines and to participate in the development of the region is well heard. The promoter of the real estate and tourism project, whose first phase has been launched, is the young and dynamic entrepreneur Burhan Mohammed Adi Gadile. He said, native of Tujara, other initiatives from Tujarians will follow up. As for the prefect of Tujara region, he said he paid a vibrant tribute to the promoter of this project, manager of this copy company, son of a great figure of Tujara, he said, who decided to contribute to the development of his native city for real estate and hotel development. In his intervention, the sponsor of this project stated, and I quote, "Your presence is a priceless source of encouragement for us on the eve of a new challenge." He continued, and because a project of this magnitude is associated with a heavy responsibility. Above all, it is an ambition that must be assumed and that requires a lot of work and sacrifice. Mr. President, your trust and support for this project have been an undeniable motivator. The key to the success of such project lies in the know-how of a team of professionals, he said. In his speech, the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, has mentioned that this project is primarily an economic project that has a huge psychological impact for the entire population of Tujara. Let's listen to him.
الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الأمين سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Messieurs les sultans de Tadjoura et de Golad, Mesdames et messieurs, c'est avec un grand sentiment de joie et de bonheur que je participe avec vous aujourd'hui à cette cérémonie. Je voudrais féliciter tout d'abord le promoteur et l'initiateur de ce projet.
It is with a great feeling of joy and happiness that I participate with you today in this ceremony. I would like to congratulate the promoter and initiator of this project first. This project is primarily an economic project, has a huge psychological impact for the entire population of Tadjoura. This project also serves as an eco-amplifier throughout the Tadjoura region. So it's a multi-dimensional project, reason why I would like to discuss in front of you his promoter, Mr. Burhan, like all national businessmen, could invest in the capital and maximize his returns on investments in record time. It was for him an easy option and a promise of enrichment. But Mr. Burhan chose another option, less easy, less predictable, that of investigation in his native region, that of contributing to the development of his region. It is therefore above all the choice of the heart that prevailed in the choice of the place of investment. And that's why this project deserves our respect and consideration. Ladies and gentlemen, projects such those we are inaugurating and launching today are the heart of the problem of local development. These two projects, one real estate and the other tourism, are extracted from the local and regional potential. This potential is huge for the Tadjoura region. This region, along with the road corridor and ports, is poised for exceptional economic development. But besides major strategic projects such as infrastructure, it is necessary that similar projects are initiated and encouraged. because the interior regions need more than this complementarity so that finally the local economies turn into a virtuous. There is no doubt that this real estate village that we are going to inaugurate in Resort Hotel, whose first stone we are going to lay, will have a significant economic and social impact on the entire region. These two projects alone will contribute to the emergence of integrated development in several sectors with a multiplier effect on employment and the fight against poverty. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, the government, in the context of the decentralization policy, has made the promotion of local development a strategic priority. This ceremony gives me the opportunity to reaffirm this priority. The government will take all necessary measures to take our region attractive to investors. Ladies and gentlemen, projects like this have a pedagogical virtue. They change our perception about the interior region. They are proof that the region can host productive projects generating revenue and growth. Here, I would like to appeal to the private sector and national entrepreneurs. I urge them to regain the audacity to undertake. I urge them to bet on regional development.
Je voudrais lancer ici un appel au secteur privé et aux entrepreneurs nationaux. Je les exhorte à retrouver l'audace d'entreprendre. Je les exhorte à parier sur le développement régional. Je vous remercie.
In one of the officials who participated in this event, Mr. Negib Abdallah Kamil, Secretary General of the Prime Minister's Office, expressed impressed to see a young man who believed in his region, his country, and his president as the initiator of this project, because he has provided the opportunity for young people to move forward and develop this country. And Burhan Muhammad Ali Gadili developed this idea of the president by implementing this project. Here is an interview of one of the participants of this event.
Very big, important day we say today. We say good. We thanks for the building boss Burhan Muhammad Ali Gadili. It's very important for the development social. Where we see, it's the first time we see in Tajura city the project for development, just for construction. For example, the some hotel, big hotel, we see 3 stars. Look, it's very important. I say for the Tajura people, copy same Mr. Burhan Muhammad Ali Gadili. If they have project, they can pose it to ask with the agency or the office with the government. It's very important, we say. We say good thanks. Thanks for the government, Mr. President of Djibouti, Ismail Omar Guelleh. And thanks for Mr. Burhan Muhammad Ali Gadili.
The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, received this morning an important delegation of the World Bank. This visit is part of the periodic consultation of the World Bank and discussions between the two sides focused on the bilateral relations that exist between Djibouti and the World Bank, also on the improvement of financing in the Republic of Djibouti in different areas. Present at this meeting was the Minister of Economy and Finances, Yes Mousidouali, as well as the Administrator of African countries at the World Bank and the Vice President of the International Financial Companies. And after the meeting with the head of state, the representative of the World Bank and International Finance Corporation, Jean-Claude Chachuang and Mohamed Goulet, have both talked about the discussions they had with the head of state. Mr. Jean-Claude said that the objective of their meeting with the president is part of their periodic consultations they held with the countries that they represent. Djibouti is among the 23 countries that they represent, and their role is to have regular consultations with these countries. He added that they have discussed with the President of the Republic the cooperation between Djibouti and the World Bank Group on issues that are on good track as well as challenges. They have made an overview to have the guidance of the President to continue to improve in this cooperation. I would like to say that the cooperation between Djibouti and the World Bank is working very well because we have developed the resources we are putting at the disposal of Djibouti. Currently, we have $84 million, which is about 170% of what existed before, he said. Our portfolio is close to $180 million with more than a dozen projects, and let's say this portfolio works very well with the high disbursement rate, and we are very pleased with this cooperation. As for the representative of International Finance Corporation, say they are here to prospect the sectors that can provide financing and also investment in Djibouti. He indicated that they finance projects that they have in the private sector, and they are holding discussions with the government, but also with the private sector and the intervention sectors such as, for example, energy, but also the banking sector. And during his interview, the Minister of Finance and Economy, Yas Musudubale, has declared that the meeting was to speak together with their delegation on the improvement of financing in the Republic of Djibouti. That is funding in priority sectors for the Republic of Djibouti, for the President in particular, for all that concerns social housing and also nutrition, education and higher education and infrastructure. He added that they have also talked about the possibility of getting support from the World Bank in the digital economy, and it was an opportunity for the President to guide the future actions of the World Bank. In the context of strengthening drought resilience, the Ministry of Agriculture, in collaboration with the German Development Bank, has officially launched today the project of a sum of 4 million euros, around 800 million Djibouti francs. This project is financed by the German Development Bank and implemented by the Ministry of Agriculture. The program aims to promote food security, drought resilience in rural communities in order to improve the conditions of communities in transboundary areas targeted to improve the availability of water access and creating sustainable livelihoods, income-generating activities, which covers the period of 2019 and 2022. The project will focus on groundwater recovery and improved rainwater recovery as well. The Minister of Agriculture has, in his intervention, talked about the overall objective of this project. He said that this project aims to move the pastoral population, to settle them down and turn them into agro-pastorers so that they can create income-generating activities and jobs, and also participate in the contribution of development of the region as well as at the national level. As part of the celebration of the 40th anniversary of RPP party, the inhabitants of the Nasib city were mobilized massively. It was in a festive atmosphere that they welcomed the President of the Women and Youth Commission, Hassan Mohammed Kamil, succeeding the microphone. The main leaders of the neighborhood praised the efforts made by the organizers of these festivities, highlighting the tremendous work of Mr. Hassan Mohammed Kamil, who traveled all the regions of the interior and did not forget to celebrate this anniversary of the party in this city. The evening ended with the presentation of gifts given by the inhabitants of the city to distinguished guests who honored the evening with their presence. After a very animated evening by the Djiboutian artists, the relay left RTD Tuesday morning. The start of the relay was given at the hikers because RPP officials in the region took turns alternately to relay the party's flag. The president of the RPP Annex, RPP deputies of the region, the president of the Women's Union, the president of the Regional Council, and the Minister of Energy took part in this rally. Then the young people took over until Djibouti, and especially in the city Nasip, where a huge and enthusiastic crowd welcomed the flag in the joy. The extraordinary and plenipotentiary ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Diaidin Said Bamakrama, met yesterday in an audience Dr. Ibrahim Al Assaf, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Saudi Arabia, in the presence of the Minister Delegate to African Affairs, Mr. Ahmed Katan. The talks between the head of the Djiboutian diplomatic mission in Riyadh and the Saudi minister focused on several important topics of bilateral economic, diplomatic, and political cooperation, as well as regional cooperation, including the creation of a regional council of states bordering the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. The president of the Port and Free Zones Authority of Djibouti participated in the International Conference on Airports, which was held from 25 to 26 in Kigali, Rwanda. This year's annual conference focused primarily on the continent's airports and ways to provide the necessary financing to unleash untapped potential and global population growth over the next 3 decades. Also in the news, this smuggling of goods by the National Police, contraband branded Benson cigarettes that have not been taxed by the customs services were smuggled into the national territory for resale at various prices in all the shops of the country. The investigative and judicial brigade of the Central Police Station opened an investigation to stop smugglers on the run and especially to identify the owners of these contraband cigarettes in order to bring them to justice, and the operation was successful. A little girl in the name of Fatuma Kader Jama was found last night by a family living in District 7. This little girl is between 6 years and to 7 years old. Her mother's name is Khadr Abdallah, and the family who is in charge of Fatuma since yesterday asked to contact them at the following number: 7783 25 91 or 7782 95 28. Moving on to the international news, no agreement between Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump in Hanoi. The White House announced Thursday that no agreement has been reached between Washington and Pyongyang, including the exit of North Korean nuclear, but both parties who welcomed very good discussions plan to meet again. After Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump's one-on-one meeting, the North Korean leader spoke of his willingness to abandon his nuclear arsenal. On this point, Donald Trump replied in the conference room saying that it was certainly the best answer you have ever heard. Before their one-on-one, Donald Trump had tempered expectations about the possibility of a breakthrough in the short term. And that's all for this edition. Thank you for your attention.